Hey guys, this is Joseph from Runner here at Hammers Gym, and here is your Hammers at Home workout. The way this is going to work is you're going to have the first set being consistent work of 20 seconds. The second round is going to be work of 15 seconds, and the final round is going to be work of 10 seconds. This way it allows you to work at your maximal earlier and then slowly get that fatigue and pushing through that level. All right guys, incline press, this is how it's done. For those of you who don't have a platform at home, you can use a chair, you can use the edge of your bed, something that gives you that elevation. The way the incline press is done is you're going to position your hands over your platform at about shoulder width apart, locking in those elbows and keeping your hips up. It's pretty much using a push-up principle, but because of the incline, you work in a different part of the chest. So we're going to come down and we're going to go for 20 seconds being our first round. Ready? Let's go. Push-ups, guys. I know it's everyone's most hated exercise, but the amount of work that this does for your body is absolutely amazing, okay? When we're coming through, again, shoulder width apart, you wanna make sure your hips are up, head is always up as well, and we're lowering as close as we can go to the bottom of the carpet or the floor. We're coming through, pushing up, and repeating the same process, okay? For those of you who can't do a full extension, I'm more than happy for you to go into your knees, but I don't want you guys coming back and hunching over into a push-up. I want you to extend that torso out so you can come down and keep that nice and consistent. All right, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. So back to our platform, we're going to come across and focus on what we call dips. All right, so you're going to be positioning your hands behind your body, again, shoulder width apart. Take about a step to a step and a half out so you elevate yourself up above your platform. When you're dropping, guys, I don't want you elbows to pop out through the side. Make sure chest is up, elbows are nicely tucked in, and you're dropping at a slow and consistent rate to the point where your bum is almost touching the ground, okay? Heels can be up or can be down. When we're ready, 3, 2, 1. Shoulder taps, guys. Very, very similar principles to a push-up. The only difference is we're not actually coming down towards the mat, okay? We're keeping ourselves up into an extended push-up position, right? The only difference is we're touching our shoulders from left to right, right? Trying to minimize that torso wobbling left to right, okay? By holding this, creates a little bit of stability through the core, activates that, and works on shoulders, of course, and the upper back. All right, with me. 3, 2, 1. All right guys, so our shoulders, we're going to be working with a resistance band. Now for those that don't have access to a resistance band at home, that is not an issue at all. Feel free to use a heavy water bottle, like a 2-3 litre water bottle that you usually have, which you can go get back from Kmart or something like that. You can also use a 3 litre milk bottle as well from what you get from the supermarket, or without getting into trouble, you can borrow Nonna's furniture and push it up above your head if you need to. The way that we're gonna do our shoulders, position the resistance band across, underneath the toes, so you're about shoulder width apart. Now, we're gonna copy the actions of military press, which is coming through, but we're gonna be twisting and then pushing up above our heads. But on the way down, as we come up, our elbows are still up, we're rotating forward, so our elbows are still parallel, catching this movement is what we call, and then lowering again. This way it gives a bit more emphasis on that shoulder muscle, it gives you more time in tension, and allows you to work a little bit more. So again, we're coming through, chest out, chest up, pushing through, rotating up, coming back, elbows up, catching the movement, and down. When it's accelerated, it's gonna look a little something like this. Okay, we're gonna work for 20 seconds. On me. 1, 2, 3, let's go. All right guys, with the bicep curl, again, we're gonna focus on using a resistance band, but for those that don't have access to a wristband, again, feel free, use a water bottle, use a milk bottle, use Nonna's furniture, whatever you're gonna do, but just make sure you be careful when you're at home. All right, coming through guys, creating a little bit of tension again, but the wider you step, the more you're gonna feel this because you're taking more of that tension into that band, okay? So, for those who are starting off, shoulder width apart is absolutely perfect. It creates that center of mass for the body and allows for a consistent contraction. We're going to be working both at the same time, but again, you want to make sure you're nice and parallel and nice and strong with the outside of your body. Shoulders are a little bit in line with that elbow. When we're curling, guys, I want you to focus on a little bit of a quicker contraction up top, but I really want you to slow that eccentric phase, which is a lowering phase of that muscle and that action, okay? So coming up, controlling, it should take about double the time. Up, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 to do a normal contraction, okay? On me, 3, 2, 1. All right guys, we're gonna be focusing on our lower body. Squatting, okay? We're gonna use our natural body weight to create a little bit of tension with our muscle, but I don't want you guys to go too crazy with this. Find a happy range of motion, a really, really good median, all right? So when we're coming down, toes slightly pointed out with our knees also mimicking the pattern. When we're coming through, I don't wanna see you guys hunching forward like you're about to kiss the ground. I want you to make sure your chest is up, okay? Because we're using our hips and creating that hip hinge motion, right, to allow for that movement, all right? When we're coming down, chest up, we're bending slightly down at the knees so you get a little bit of that parallel, I guess, action with the hamstrings coming down to the floor, okay? Hands coming forward to create a little bit of stability. Again, when we come down, chest up, we're coming through, creates that stability and push through. I don't want you guys driving with the toes. I want you to use those heels so we can get that motion and that tension right through the front of that quad. All right, demonstration again, coming through, up, driving with the heels, finishing with the chest up, nice and tall. All right, on me, 3, 2, 1, let's do it. All right guys, so we're gonna be focusing on the calves, all right? So when we're doing our calf raises, guys, some people get this a little bit wrong because they don't go up to the top and use the lowest part of that contraction when they're working their calves. Now the calves are one of the hardest muscles to work, so you need to make sure you get that maximal contraction both at the top and the bottom. That way we're getting a bit more consistency. When you're coming up with the calves, feel free to find a platform at home. It could be a small step, it could be a brick, it could be a piece of wood, something that gives you a little bit more of an elevation. Now, being in a gym setting, you're gonna have a little bit more access to some equipment to give you that high part of that. With at home, guys, as long as it's about 10 centimeters off the ground, that's what we're looking for. Feel free to use something at home that you can use to help create that stability and that balance also. Could be a pole, could be a bed head, could be a chair, okay? When you're coming through, the hand that you hold to support with, you work the opposite side. So we're going to be working our left first because we're using our right side to balance, okay? Making sure we allow our opposing leg to be falling freely. We want to create more of that contraction type through the left side of the body since it's what we're working. When you're coming through, guys, you're going to start at its lower point. You're coming up, squeezing, dropping all the way back down to that low point. We want to make sure we're working both contractions, both up the top and the bottom, both concentric and eccentric phases, okay? When we do our right side, we want to make sure same principles apply. Left is holding, right is working, but we're going to be going down and up, both to the bottom and the top, okay? Let's start with our left leg first, all right? Find that base of support, up on your bit of a platform, and we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. All right, now let's do our right side. Now guys, with our core, I know we said at the beginning, 20 seconds, 15 and 10 seconds for our rounds, but this core part is gonna be consistent across all 3. It's gonna be working for 20 seconds. We're gonna split you up, 10 seconds of work on one exercise, 10 seconds of work on the other, okay? The first exercise is gonna be a leg raise, okay? So this is when we position ourselves on our back. We're gonna make sure that we're having a nice straight leg, right, when we're doing this. Hands under the bum, okay? Toes pointing forward, making sure our end of our contraction does finish with our heels touching the ground. When we come up, we want to raise through, keep your knees as straight as possible, come back down and control, touch the ground, come back up. Now, I don't want to see you guys swinging all the way up to here. It defeats the whole purpose of the exercise. When you're coming up to about 90 degrees, catching that and controlling the motion downwards, okay? The second exercise to the core, we're going to go straight into heel touches. Okay, feet at about a 45-degree bend. You want to make sure that your hands are nice and flat to the ground, back is nice and flat. You want to come up into a half crunch, like so, and we're literally touching our heels left to right in a consistent and speeded action. So we're coming across left to right. Now, for those of you that want to feel this a little bit more, hunch up just a little bit more, entering a full crunch just before you contract, and you can do the exact same thing. Okay, so we're gonna start with our leg raises, 10 seconds, then we're gonna go straight into our heel touches for 10 seconds. On me, 3, 2, 1. All right guys, round 2 of this, we're working 15 seconds. Let's do it. Ready? Let's go. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. We're ready. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. One, two, three, let's go. Three, two, one. Three, two, one, let's do it. Three, two, one. All right, now let's do our right side. Three, two, one. Guys, awesome work. We're up to the last round. We're working for 10 seconds now. However, I want you to work at maximal. So I want you to do as many as possible within a 10-second burst. Let's get that heart rate up and let's pump this out. Ready? Let's go. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. We're ready. 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. One, two, three, let's go. Three, two, one. Three, two, one, let's do it. Three, two, one. All right, now let's do our right side. Three, two, one.